In today's video we're going to be tuning one of the most underrated race cars in the game. We're tuning it to 800 pp and we're going to take it around what I think is one of the best offline races in the whole game to earn 1.5 million credits in just an hour. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by. KCR-Mark here. Welcome back to another Gran Turismo 7 tuning video. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you know I'm much more into tuning road cars. I really like the challenge of eking out every little performance point to get a car under a certain PP limit. But I've had a lot of requests recently for an 800 pp tune, and specifically a race car. So I thought it was time to drag out my very favourite race car in the game. The car, of course, is a magnificent Group 2 Lexus SC430 GT500 car. We're going to be tuning this to 800 pp. I'm going to go through every single step of the build. You can use this car for the Sardinia World Touring Car 800, but in this particular video I'm going to be using this on a race that I've not tried for a long time, and it's absolutely fantastic, and that's the Spa 1 hour endurance race. So let's start things off, and obviously we need the car first. If it's not one that you already own, just head to the Brand Central and the Lexus dealership. It's a car that's available all time. The going rate for all the Group 2 cars is 800,000 credits, but you get a hell of a car for that money. Now, customizing wise, there's not a lot you need to do, or can actually do. You can change the style of the wheel and you can put wide offset on, but as for the aero parts, everything is completely locked, so there's nothing you have to buy there at all. So next off we're going to head to the performance parts, and again, incredibly easy. There's only a couple of parts that you need to buy. You need the power restrictor and the ballast. You need the high RPM turbocharger. Everything else is brought that you see on the screen here. You need racing hard tyres. And with this race there's a strong possibility of rain, so I'd recommend buying the intermediate or the heavy wet tyres, or both ideally. So with this car all built up, we're going to be outputting 771 brake horsepower and absolutely tons of torque out of this masterpiece of an endurance engine. It's absolutely fantastic and sounds incredible, as you see when we get into the race. So with a limited amount of parts you can buy for this car, the tune is all in the suspension and diff setup of this car. So I've enlarged the screen there so you can copy my settings. The racing transmission is really good as standard. I've just adjusted the top speed to suit. So the rest of the tune is all a bit of a balancing act between the aero, the ballast and the power, just to get it to that 800 pp and have a nice car to drive. So we've got all the ballast at the front, 200 kg in total. It leaves to a really nice balanced chassis. We've had to adjust the power down a little bit to 771, but it's still absolutely plenty for this car. As you can see, as standard, these Group 2 cars have got a ridiculous amount of downforce, and that's pretty critical in getting this tune right. So you need to follow these steps absolutely exact to get it right. Personal preference, I've got the brake balance set to 2. The tyre wear is not really an issue, so you can adjust that to wherever you feel comfortable. So the car all built, we can head to track. If your bag is the Sardinia World Touring Car 800, this car is absolutely phenomenal. It'll decimate the opposition. You don't need to pit. It is absolutely fantastic. But I'm not personally a fan of the track, so we're going to head to a race that I've not done for a long time, and I forgot just how good it is, and that's a Spa 1 hour endurance race. So heading to the race, and there's no real strategy to speak of with this car. Even with that huge hike in power, this thing is absolutely phenomenal on fuel. You're well into 20 minutes into the race before you need to pit at the end of lap 10, so just enjoy this fantastic car. This thing is absolutely rapid. I love driving this. The Group 2 cars have got huge amount of downforce, and this thing just is absolutely planted. A lot of the Group 3 cars since the physics update feel a bit sketchy to drive for me. I'm not really a fan of them, but this car, if you haven't tried it before, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely fantastic, and of course that rumbling V8 sounds absolutely amazing. So for me, the big selling point on this race, if you've not tried it before, is the day-night transition, which I think Gran Turismo absolutely nail. It's something I wish they utilised more, because they do it so well. There's not many other racing games I've come across that do it so good. As you can see, a little bit into the race, and we're racing into the sunset, and soon we'll be plunging into darkness, racing into the night. And it just makes the race feel really special and really good atmosphere. I really enjoy it. So we're waiting to the nighttime stint before we have to do our first pit stop at the end of lap 10. Like I say, this car is absolutely phenomenal on fuel. You will have to pit one more time for fuel, but the strategy is a bit pliable because it sometimes rains at the end of this race as well, so you may need to come into the pits for wets, but you're going to have such an enormous lead. This car is so dominant, you can be pretty flexible with that strategy anyway. So this is my favourite part of any endurance race, and that's when the sky turns from jet black and you can see the sun peeking up above the top of the trees, and it just gives this race a fantastic atmosphere and a real sense of achievement that you've managed to survive the night unscathed. A bit later in the race there is a possibility of rain, so just keep that weather radar open the latter stages. The car copes absolutely fine with the rain. We've bought those heavy wets or intermediate tyres, so we've got plenty of time to play with, so you can afford to go into the pits and change to the wets. The car copes with the wet conditions absolutely fantastic. It's no issue at all. So coming up to the end of the race, and as you can see, an absolutely massive lead, well over a lap ahead of all the other cars. Ignore the ruined wet tyres. I didn't want to bother pitting when the track got dry, so I killed my tyres, but this car just absolutely dominates this race. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Like I say, if you haven't tried it before, I really recommend it. It's just such a unique race. I wish PD would do more of these. It's just absolutely fantastic. So fastest lap of 207.7, and with that clean race bonus you're going to be getting yourself 1.5 million credits for that hour-long race. If you do want to stay to the end of the video, I've got the full unedited version of the fastest lap on there. There's no commentary over the top, so if you need any braking pointers or lines, or just want to watch the car around the lap, that's where you'll find it, right at the end of the video. So cheers for stopping by, much appreciated as always. Hope you give that a try and enjoy that tune. It's something a little bit different, and I really hope you give it a go and let me know how you get on. In the meantime, I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.